The Cold War was a conflict between the Soviet Union and the United States 2 years after the Second World War. During World War II, the Europeans lost many of their men and their money. The United States economy, however, remained strong, making it the richest country in the world. The Truman Doctrine, initiated by Harry Truman, established that the US would provide economical aid to the countries affected by the war. Therefore, the US helped Europe's economy using the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan was named after George Marshall, the American Secretary of State, a patriot. After giving his speech in Harvard University in 1947, the plan was officially known as the European Recovery Program. The plan granted him a Nobel Peace Prize in 1953. According to the Marshall Plan, USA was to aid the 16 European countries destroyed by the war $13 billion for 4 consecutive years. The Marshall Plan also offered the money to Russia. However, the Soviet Foreign Minister V.M. Molotov refused to accept the money. This was because Molotov did not appreciate that the US would aid Germany, as the Russians believed that they destroyed their country and they wanted to be free of America's economical domination. This created tension between the Russians and the Americans and resulted in the Cold War from 1945 to 1991. The Cold War included proxy wars, where other countries in fighting got support from either Russia or the US, such as the Vietnam War. The superpowers also took part in an arms race to compete for the most weapons and the space race. In 1958, the US launched the first satellite, Explorer 1, and created a security-oriented space program to gain insight on Russia.
Where's Steve?
In his room. Why?
Oh my God! Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon!
Rav Svitya, Dad.
My son is a communist!
Stop it! Sergey gave me that stuff!
Look at this crazy upside-down writing! I'll take my backwards letters on a Toys R Us sign, thank you very much.
You're just a capitalist dupe. All you care about is money. Sergey cares about me. He helped me build my rocket.
No more Sergey! That's an order! This at least we can agree on. Planet of the Apes was a fine picture.
In 1961, when the first Soviet man, Yuri Gagarin, orbited the Earth, it urged the new US President John F. Kennedy to have a US astronaut to land on the moon. This happened in 1969, when Neil Armstrong became the first man to walk on the moon, marking the end and the win of the space race. The arms race and the space race made the Soviets seem like villains towards the public, who wanted to seem more powerful than the Americans.
This is my fault. I was distracted by work and I let you fall into the wrong hands. And for that, I'm sorry. You have a right to be mad at me, but don't be mad at capitalism. Capitalism loves you. And it's gonna help us win this rocket contest.
As a whole, the Marshall Plan successfully helped the European countries to rebuild their economy after the devastating Second World War. The United States effectively decreased communism spreading in the Western countries and maintained their political stability. The Cold War ended in 1991, after the collapse of the Soviet Union. The US drained the Soviet Union financially due to the proxy wars that included nuclear weapons, and as a result, claimed its victory over the Cold War.